Hi, I'm Mr. Benjamin Low, founder of Trinity Learning Center and author of Master Math Models and Mastering Math Models. Over the years, many of my friends and the parents of the kids I teach, they have been asking me this question. How is it I'm able to help so many of kids go from failing 40, 50 to get their results up to 80, 90, to be constantly top of their class, top of their school? How I'm able to do this? And the answer is really very simple. I was just like these kids. I know the struggles they're going through, and because I went through this, I know how to help them. I know that many parents and their children are actually trying very hard. Okay, they do a lot of practice, the parents help them, but no matter what they do, they don't seem to get the results that they deserve. And this is where I come in. I make math easy to understand for the kids so that they can get the results that they want. But how did it all happen? So let me share this with you. When I was in primary school, in primary four, five, and even in the early part of P6, I was really bad in my math. I was constantly failing my math tests, exams, and very, very soon I lost interest. And all I wanted to do was play soccer. In fact, I had a nickname. My nickname was the Dreamer. And the reason for that was because every time my teachers asked me a math question, I'll just look at them blankly. And so I looked like I was dreaming. Okay. I didn't know the answer. Well, in P6, my mum became very, very worried. So what she did was she basically grounded me, put me in my room, and she bought me this pile of assessment books where I was supposed to practice. Now, back then, exam papers were non-existent. Assessment books were different. They didn't have workings. They only had question and then answer, and it was up to you to figure out how it got from question to answer. So I basically spent a lot of time looking at the books, hours upon hours, days upon days, weeks and months. And eventually, I managed to piece it all together. I figured out how math works. I understood math. And with this aha moment, I started to do very well. I went from almost last in my school to almost the top in my school, and sometimes I actually topped the school. And with that, of course, I continued to do well in my studies, and it built my confidence. I believed I could do it, and I finished NUS, and I went on to NTU. I did my studies in NIE. I got my teaching cert, and I went to school. And the reason why I went to school to teach was because I felt that it was my calling to use all these methods that I've learned to help kids who are struggling to be good in doing their math. So I did this in school. I was given the one of the lowest classes in my school to teach. Okay, these kids were all struggling, and after a year of experimenting with ways to teach them, uh, I came up with a system that was very interactive, and they did very well. At the end of the year, their results were better than classes that were 4 or 5 classes above them. And this all sounds very good, but unfortunately, I think either the school or the principal or whatever it was didn't like it. They didn't like it because they said to me things like, Mr. Low, your class is so noisy, so many things happening. How are the kids able to study and do well? And I said to them, hey, look, the results speak for themselves. Okay, they're doing better than the classes above them. But I understood where they were coming from. So I figured the best thing for me to do was to, strike it out on my own and to have my own classes outside of the school system. And that's what I did. So in my first tuition center, I was made the curriculum manager because they didn't have curriculum. So I had the opportunity to write it as well as to teach it. And as I did it, I was able to tweak the materials and the teaching methods until in the end, you have what you see behind me, the series of books, Master Math Models, which is used widely in many of the schools today. Okay, I continued to pursue my dreams of creating a system of materials and teaching methods that would build a solid foundation for the kids to excel in math. And soon the results followed, and my classes grew rapidly. 14 years ago, I started Trinity Learning Center as I felt that it was my calling to help children build a solid foundation that will help them to understand, excel, and love maths. I only do this one thing well. When I explain math, kids get it. And because I was struggling just like those kids, I understand the best way to help them understand math. My vision and hope for the kids, after interacting with thousands of these kids under my care, was to gain the one critical ingredient for them to succeed, and that is confidence. In fact, I've done this so well that many of my former students have become math tutors themselves. They were the same students who were struggling in math, and today they are teaching math using some of the systems that I've created. And I'm really proud of them. My mission is to turn every student under my care into success stories who go on to have the same passion to help the next generation, the kids in the next generation who want to be helped, who are working hard, and who deserve to do well.